Sup everyone, I'm Daphne Odora and you're watching Fresh Cuts. Mermaid. They don't like my name. It doesn't taste right. Tongue flicked behind the teeth. I let them have it. Say, I know myself sufficiently and I don't even want to know more. But hold me to the light. See how the prisms pirouette across the mild surface in cases. Turbulence. The sea churns opaque whirlpools like those. Summer spent hours underwater. Tea parties, we called them, holding our breath, knees to our chests. Who can drown slower? Face your own demise, collapse your lungs at will, and emerge on the other side in prisms pirouetting light. Maybe I will become a mermaid, no longer throat choked at oxygen's mercy. Maybe I will comb seaweed in my hair and let it seed itself there. Take root in my skull and fracture the confines of my mind. Bask my bare breasts in the sun's heat and sing to the men drowning where my feet used to be. Maybe I will be free from the shackles of desire, finally comprehend life's most private lesson. Want not, suffer not, allow this whirlpool to swallow me in its entirety and spit me out the other side in prisms pirouetting light. Organic matter. You could say I was your downstairs basement creation. Afternoons on the futon taught me how to move my fingers in the unfolding twilight of the suburbia that birthed us. I consider myself lucky. Not every woman can experience such delicate beginnings. We are ushered into this world of sex with the budding of our chests and the flowering between our legs, whether we like it or not. An embarrassment to our fathers. To merely walk down the street signals acceptance to the onslaught of lewd suggestions and invites wandering eyes and sweaty palms to linger on our contours. This is the ripening, the free-for-all, the harvest, the blind eye to the bruised fruit on the counter, the mortality of organic matter. Taught me how to live inside my body. They ask if it belongs to me, and I tell them certainly, but briefly that I enjoy bleeding because it reminds me that I am flesh fragmenting, and wouldn't you like to take a bite? It might shock you to find that this piece of meat speaks eloquently and might expect to be treated with respect or vaguely like a human, might expect to be acknowledged as a woman born from the same strength as your grandmother, who could shut your indignant ass up with a look in the same strength as your mother's hips that bore your ungrateful ass unto this earth. Taught me that we all must be victims of this abuse-mandated system infiltrating our relationships so that we can hardly conceive of a way of being outside this two-dimensional mode of existence, that we all deserve better than human nature, because what could possibly be natural about the fact that I have to ask not to be harassed, otherwise attend some half-assed government-sponsored self-defense class, or that it's so difficult for you to see through this dominant cultural milieu clinging to you like mildew that makes you think I need a man to be holding my hand for you to understand that my pussy is not just up for grabs. What makes you so certain that I'm being had? And if not by you, whoever's doing the job better watch his back and go ahead. Tell me I must be on the rag, or better yet, a dyke. Well, baby, not quite, but at this rate, I really wouldn't be surprised, because even after all this machista bullshit you spew, I can guarantee if you and I were alone in a room, you wouldn't know the first damn thing to do. Paraíso adverso. Yo vengo de un paraíso adverso, punctuated by dime bags of perico tirados in el lado de la calle, day and night differentiated by the fighting cock's crow and an award-worthy hangover to keel you over in your breakfast of last night's arroz y habichuelas, motivados por otro día, otro peso y bendecidos, with the emblem of the United States without the glory of being able to claim anything that remotely resembles a dehydrated sovereign state under God. Dame otra medalla. Fuck your liberty and justice for all. Land of beautiful brown skin tones and Taino high cheekbones, kinky African curls or dreads down to your ankles, freckle-faced, full-lipped descendants of colonialist slaves and indigenous, raised by salt and sun and short-fused mothers, siempre con una mano en la estufa, haciendo ricuras in the other, en la chancleta, united by the struggle, in the rhythmic Caribbean dialect que suena a lluvia cayendo en un techo de zinc. Me recuerda una frase que mi querido me dijo: no puedes ser viequense hasta que has sufrido con su gente. You cannot be viequense until you have suffered with her people. No puedes ser boricua hasta que has sangrado por la isla. And the island is bleeding out like an animal hung by its hooves with its throat slit down the middle, y el carnicero está ahí parado con el cuchillo whose image recalls 5 generations of ists. The imperialist, the militarist, the capitalist, the tax evasionist, and last but not least, the wipe my hands clean, I want nothing to do with it. The ignorance is bliss, the post-disaster investments displacing the people from their homes and exploiting the land of her riches. The list goes on. History lesson. Borinquen is a Taino name for Puerto Rico, and Puerto Ricans come from the port of riches, but before they were robbed by wave after wave of self-entitled bitches, they came from Borinquen, the land of the valiant king. And what does valiant mean, and how many centuries does it take to bring the valiant to their knees? Yo escribo versos de un paraíso adverso, una vida sencilla y una gente orgullosa por lo poco que tienen, aunque sea solo la tierra donde nacieron. I write verses of an adverse paradise on the verge of revolution, luchando día a día por las cositas ricas, días largos y lluvia calientita y an instinctive sense of home. Miss Universe. They crowned her the other day. I was scrolling the feeds like I usually avoid, distrustful of anyone who can look their thoughts in the face and not admit their own bullshit. Call it thought crime, forging patterns in our collective mind, multimedia, dulling the senses until we are both deaf and blind. But wait. Let me pay my respects to Helen Keller, who taught herself to speak while we forego our God-given ability and say absolutely nothing. Just drown out each other's complaints with more complaints and put to shame the fact that we have consciousness in the first place. Miss Universe. They crowned her the other day, and let me begin by stating my initial reaction. That woman, she could be my mother. She could be my sister, another chink-eyed brown girl trying to prove herself in this white man's world with a sash across her chest that says, I'm worthy. Of what? Of the pedestal on which you're poised, of the fact that you can talk through your whitened teeth and offend minimally those crisp English syllables you speak. My own mother never spoke to me in Tagalog, the language of our blood, because she fell smitten in love with an American dream and got knocked up by a man from the Midwest, and the rest is a history of green cards, long-distance phone calls, until the day came when she pledged her allegiance to this one nation under God, and so Miss Universe. I speak good English, just like you, and as much as I have tried to hide behind the face of my father's white privilege, I cannot seem to shake those early days on the playground surrounded by little Latina girls, wondering to myself why I can't speak Spanish if my skin is the same color as theirs. And then I grew and realized my life would just be easier if I were white. Shy away those rowdy black kids always hooping and hollering and causing a scene. Avoid eye contact with Juan Jose Carlos when he hisses at you as you ride your bike past the Mexican laundromat, and under no circumstances give Alejandro the desired heated reaction when he grabs your 12-year-old ass. Miss Universe. When I saw your toothy, smiling Filipina face, I saw my Lola in her first world house built high above third world Cebu, surrounded by a valley of tin shanty poverty, chiding me in her unobtrusive, broken English. Don't be like your mother, my daughter. Marry a rich man, unlike your good-for-nothing American father, a doctor, a lawyer, success, and save yourself the suffering. Well, Miss Universe, let me tell you, the Philippines is a land of our shared ancestry. The Filipino people are peaceful. They love only to sing and dance, roast pigs and drink coconut wine, scattered among those 7,000 islands, rich in dialect and tradition, but within the context of imperialism. Peaceful is synonymous with easily enslaved, and as most indigenous people, our ancestors fell victim to the empire, the evils of colonialism, and stood by, crestfallen, defenseless as their motherland was, raped of her resources, robbed of her culture, and worst of all, infiltrated with an infectious American ideal, changed hands, the captor, as these men play at war, and us Filipinas became little brown fucking machines, playthings, giving birth to an entire generation of ethnically ambiguous freaks like me, Miss Universe. I am speaking to you in the slew of the misconstrued in the midst of this media bullshit, and I'm wondering if you're thinking what I'm thinking. Exploit the exploiter, these goddamn fools the whole world over, the one-up they think they have on us because we are kind and we are beautiful and we are women to be coveted, bought and sold, little brown fucking machines malfunctioning. Well, I say that is between them and their sick fantasies, and they can throw flowers or knives to sever us from the source of our identities. But if anyone is going to capitalize on our brown cunts, they better know just who it is going to be, Miss Universe. You are my cousin. You are my sister. You are my mother. You are me. My name is Daphne Odora. You can find me on Instagram as Odora_la_flor. Thanks for listening. I'm dancing.
You are, I know. It's so unconscious.